Hello there, thanks for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog. I'm Pete Howard, and what I wouldn't have given to have made this my first concert ever. Instead it was 2 weeks later, same venue, same promoter. Anyway, this is August 1st, 1969, no less than Led Zeppelin and Jethro Tull, both touring off their first albums. Can you imagine those track lists from the Exploding Dirigible album, and this was by Jethro Tull? Oh, that would have been great. Santa Barbara, California, about an hour and a half north of Los Angeles, was the venue, and Jim Salser was the promoter, who was based in Oxnard and Ventura. Oxnard and Ventura at the time. And the show, though, was in Santa Barbara at the Earl Warren Fairgrounds. Hendrix played there and all kinds of people. But we should mention the Fraternity of Man. They're also on the bill, their third bill there. And, this was such a new pairing from England that Led Zeppelin was even misspelled on the poster. Not an unusual misspelling, actually, especially from the early days, but there's a missing E there. Zeppelin is what it's supposed to say, but that's okay. We forgive everybody because it was Zeppelin and Tull in summer of '69 off their first albums. I am so green with envy. Although, as I just said, my first concert was Blind Faith 2 weeks later at the same venue, the Earl Warren Fairgrounds, in the Horse Rink Arena. Not the domed building, but the outdoor Horse Rink Arena. So it's kind of, whatever we could get back then. And the artist on this is Frank Betancourt. So that's Jim Salser presents, and Frank Betancourt is the artist. So, all of Jim Salser's posters have been highly reproduced and resold over the years, starting, before, during, and after the shows, and ever since. And he was extra good at maintaining the same plates and so forth, and it's really hard to tell the originals from the repros. Well, I have a good friend who's really delved into this subject and done a ton of research and has examples of everything. And certainly, at least on this Zeppelin Jethro Tull poster, there's about 3 good ways to tell the original printing. For one thing, way down on those gold bricks, the poster's artist is listed as just Betancourt, whereas on the repros it says F. Betancourt with a copyright symbol. Also, this has hash marks around 3 of the edges. They're actually registration points that the printer put there. I'll put my fingers on either side. See that registration point right there? And then there's one over here above my finger. On this margin, there's the printer's registration mark, and there's one bottom center as well. And I can't, it's right by my finger there. So there it is, the printer's registration mark. And then finally, the best way to tell the original first printing, there it is right there, the printer's credit. See that? Pacific Printing. If that's on your Zeppelin Tull poster, then you have a first. Now, that's the end of sort of part 1 of this. That's the mainstream stuff. I'm going to go into, I've got 2 or 3 other examples here. I'm going to go into a little bit of esoteria about second printings and subtle printing differences and so forth. And so you can cut out now if all you wanted to do is find out the basics. If you're into these printing differences, stay with me, but I just want to tell you that I'm going to fade in and out a number of times because I tried shooting this video without a break, constantly putting things down and picking them up and out of focus and everything. So I just felt for this one video it'd be okay to just break a number of times and just make it easy on you. But don't think I left anything out. It was merely for the sake of moving things around. I've got several examples here. So with that in mind, let's look at a second printing here. And I don't know if I'm going to bother fading this in and out or just hold it up. But here's a second printing. As you can see from a distance, looks pretty darn, close. Almost exactly the same, except this does not say Pacific Printing at the bottom. It does not have the registration marks on 3 of the sides. And it says the F. Betancourt with a circle copyright. So it's, it's sold to this day, and it's a nice looking poster, but for people who collect advertising posters like me and want something that was made before the show to sell tickets, you really have to be able to tell the difference. Now, a couple of other things that are interesting. The plate was changed because if it went from Betancourt to F. Betancourt copyright, obviously the plate was changed. That's not just a restrike with different colors or something. So, while they changed the plates, they also made several other differences, and I'm going to really use the fade feature now to show you these differences in the 2 printings. Okay, here on the original first printing before the show, notice the window in the castle. It's filled in dark purple. Notice that shape at the base of the mountains, the base of the Blue Mountains, it is filled in dark purple. Now notice on the repro, the second onward printings, at the base of the Blue Mountains it's white, almost like snow, but really it's just a lack of the dark purple color. And the window is not filled in dark purple, but rather has more of a line design and is less opaque. On the far right-hand side of the poster, notice those two yellow windows? Well, around those yellow windows is dark, deep purple. And on the reproductions, notice the background of those two yellow windows is blue with black lines. We pretty much don't need more evidence, but by the Y in Fraternity of Man, notice this triangular shape is deep dark purple. And on the repro, that exact triangular shape is pink like the other things around it with black lines through it. Noticeable differences, but you have to know to look for them. Next, we'll cover a couple of very obvious printer's flaws. Above the lead here, notice this purple sky, or is that cloud? It's purple, is just very solid and fine. And on the repro, in that purple area above lead, notice how easily it is to see that real pink, mistake or, printer's flaw right there in that area that the original does not have. Another printer's flaw comes down in the lake by the castle. Now, interestingly, this little white printer's flaw is on both the first printings and the repros. But as you'll see in a second, the reproductions have not only this, but significant white printer's flaws up there as well. Let's take a look. There you see them. This is the reproduction poster, the second printing, if you will. And besides that, this is the telltale stuff right here. Quite obvious, all the white flakes and specks in the blue lake. And perhaps the most fun printer's flaw to find, to discover, here on the original, the first printing, the purple tail of the Zeppelin is just solid purple. It's fine. On the other hand, take a look now at the purple tail of the Zeppelin on the reproduction, the second printing. It's full of little pink mistakes, flecks, printer's errors there, printer's flaws, we should say. If you want still another way to tell reproductions from the originals on this poster, the originals, they're not blacklight posters, of course, they're standard light posters. But if you take a black light, which is fabulous for pointing out flaws and restoration on posters and so forth, they actually sell small hand black lights that you can run over things. But whether it's that or you're in a room with a black light, a large light, the original poster, which again I'm holding here, the originals, do not really react too much to the black light. They don't pop. Whereas the reproduction poster, all the whites really zing because they're made from a different paper and they really react to the black light. So yeah, you might almost need them side by side to be able to tell. But if your reaction is muted to a black light, that's another good sign that you have the first printing. Thanks for enduring the long video and all the esoteria about the all the little differences. And we'll get down in the frame and say bye-bye. See you next time.